Every company out there has this incredibly powerful, totally overlooked asset. And nope, it's not the factory, it's not the inventory, it's not even the cash in the bank. It's something way more valuable, and for most companies, it's completely unmanaged. So let's dive into what this is all about. So let me ask you this directly. What is your company's most valuable asset? Now, if your mind immediately jumps to physical things, the buildings, the equipment, you're kind of missing the bigger picture. The real answer is probably right there in front of you, and odds are it's being ignored every single day. Okay, check out this number. It'll really put things in perspective. According to the OECD, a whopping 65% of the value of S&P 500 companies comes from intangible assets. We're talking about things like data, internal processes, and the collective expertise of your people. Think about that. The majority of your company's worth isn't something you can touch. It's what your company knows. And that's the big idea we're digging into today. All of that knowledge is literally an untapped gold mine. It holds this massive potential for wealth. But for most organizations, it's just sitting there. It's not governed, it's not being put to work. I mean, think about all the buzz around AI right now. Well, get this. McKinsey estimates that 70 to 80% of AI's economic potential is just stuck in neutral. And why is that? It's because the AI can't get to the most critical ingredient, your company's unique, organized knowledge. It's like we've built these incredibly powerful engines, but we've completely forgotten to give them any high-quality fuel. So, if all this value is so huge, where is it all going? Well, the tough truth is, it's actively being lost. I want you to imagine your company's knowledge as water in a bucket. The problem, that bucket is just riddled with holes. So let's take a look at the 4 critical leaks where this value is escaping every single day. The first, and honestly the most critical leak, is something called tacit knowledge. This is all the stuff that isn't written down anywhere. It's the gut feeling, the years of experience, that problem-solving magic that just lives inside the heads of your most experienced people. It is your most precious asset, and it's also your most vulnerable. And the cost of this one leak? It's just staggering. The APQC estimates that when a single senior expert walks out the door, maybe they retire or take a new job, the loss to the company is somewhere between 2 and 5 million euros. That knowledge, that experience, it just vanishes. It's a huge and often totally invisible financial blow. Okay, so the second leak isn't about people leaving the company. This one is about the daily, grinding inefficiency that just bleeds productivity from the people who are still there. Gartner found that every single employee wastes more than 2 hours a day, that's a quarter of their workday, just trying to find information that already exists somewhere in the company. Now just stop and multiply that by the number of employees you have. The cost is absolutely astronomical. It's a massive, self-inflicted productivity drain. Leak number 3. I like to call this one the digital swamp. You know what I'm talking about. It's those mountains of PDFs, Word docs, videos, old presentations, and emails that every single company collects over the years. It's this huge library of potential value, but it's a complete mess, and it's almost impossible to search effectively. And just how big is this problem? Well, according to IDC, this unstructured mess makes up nearly 90% of a company's total information. We're all out here trying to find a needle in a haystack, but the haystack is basically everything we have. And the final leak? Ironically, it comes from the very systems that are designed to help us. Our CRMs, our ERPs, our analytics tools, they are packed with rich data. But so often, they're siloed. They just don't talk to each other. So all the incredible insights that could come from connecting, say, sales data with maintenance data, they just stay trapped. Okay, so we've identified the leaks, and I know it sounds pretty bleak. But here's the really good news. There is a clear, actionable blueprint for plugging these holes. It's a 6-step process that can transform that leaky bucket into a fortified, high-value asset. So here's how it breaks down. It all starts with seeing your critical knowledge, identifying what matters most. Then you choose where to focus your energy based on value. Next, and this is a big one, you capture it, especially that unwritten expertise. From there, you structure it so it's actually practical and easy to use. Step 5 is to put it to work inside the tools your team uses every day. And finally, you maintain it with clear roles and routines. It's a disciplined cycle, you see, not just some one-time project. So, the crucial point in all of this, the real tipping point, is that capture step. specifically capturing that tacit knowledge, the unwritten wisdom from your people. Making that invisible know-how visible and explicit is what separates a vulnerable company from one that can learn and adapt faster than pretty much everyone else. And it's so important to remember, the objective here is not to create some giant, dusty digital library that nobody ever uses. It's not about archiving for the sake of archiving. The goal is activation. It's all about making sure the right knowledge is easy to find, easy to understand, and ready to be used at the exact moment it's needed to make a better decision or solve a tough problem. Now, this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in practice? Let's talk about the real-world payoff for some major companies that have actually put these ideas into action. The results are pretty incredible. And what's really cool is that the impact cuts across every single sector. In banking, you've got HSBC. They built knowledge graphs that doubled their fraud detection, saving them $200 million a year. In industry, Siemens captured technician expertise to cut machine downtime by 40%. And in healthcare, the Mayo Clinic formalized its knowledge to improve early detection of heart conditions by 25%. The common thread here teaches us a really powerful lesson. While technology, things like AI, can be the accelerator, it's the governance, the human strategy for capturing and using knowledge that actually creates the value. A great tool is pretty much useless without a great plan. And ultimately, all of this leads to a really profound shift in what it even means to compete in today's world. It's no longer just about who has the best product or the biggest factory. The number one factor for competitive advantage today is the speed at which your entire organization can learn, adapt, and apply its collective knowledge. So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Right now, in your organization, is your unmanaged knowledge a ticking time bomb, a liability just waiting to walk out the door? Or are you actively governing it to build what could be your ultimate, sustainable competitive advantage? The choice really is yours.